And moving on, a controversy is unfolding at the crossroads of technology, regulation, and geopolitics. And at the center of it all is social media platform X. Last week, the European Union slammed X with a whopping $140 million fine, accusing the platform of violating multiple transparency rules under the bloc's sweeping Digital Services Act. It's the first major penalty imposed under the law for content-related breaches, and it comes months after scrutiny into how X actually operates. Almost immediately, though, Elon Musk himself fired back in a series of posts. He declared that the EU should be dissolved, adding that the bloc is not a democracy, but rather a bureaucracy. He went on to argue that sovereignty should return to individual nations so that governments can represent their citizens without interference from Brussels. And Musk wasn't the only one raising his voice against the action. As if on cue, members of the Trump administration weighed in as well. Before the penalty was even announced, Vice President J.D. Vance warned Brussels against attacking American companies through what he called censorship.
Rumors are swirling that the EU Commission will fine X hundreds of millions of dollars for not engaging in censorship. The EU should be supporting free speech, not attacking American companies over garbage.
And hours after the fine became public, Secretary of State Marco Rubio also echoed the criticism, escalating the diplomatic row.
The European Commission's $140 million fine isn't just an attack on X, it's an attack on all American tech platforms and the American people by foreign governments. The days of censoring Americans online are over.
Now, at the heart of the conflict is the European Union's most ambitious attempt yet to police online platforms. They're requiring of big tech to clean up harmful and illegal content, be transparent about how their algorithms actually work, and provide researchers access to public data. And it gives regulators sweeping enforcement powers, including the ability to impose huge fines on companies that fall short. In fact, X isn't the only platform in their crosshairs. Apple and Meta were also fined and collectively ordered to pay nearly $800 million as the EU tries to tighten oversight of the world's most influential tech firms. The case against X, however, stands out because the platform broke 3 different transparency requirements. The most controversial violation relates to X's blue checkmark system. Regulators say that the new pay-to-verify model is deceptive and lets anyone purchase a badge of authenticity without meaningful identity checks, potentially exposing users to scams and manipulation. The Commission also found that X lacked transparency in its advertising database and failed to provide adequate access to public data for researchers despite receiving a formal warning last year. Now, X is still under investigation for how it handles illegal content and information manipulation, meaning that even more penalties and more political blowback could be on the horizon. Now, the standoff is becoming the latest flashpoint in a widening global debate about who gets to shape the digital world, who enforces the rules, and what happens when politics and platforms collide.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.